So, if you're learning German, you know this feeling, right? The verbs just seem totally chaotic, confusing, and, well, completely unpredictable. But what if I told you it's not actually chaos, that it's a code? Well, today, we're going to crack that code together. Does this look familiar? You're just trying to put a simple sentence together, and all of a sudden the verb splits in two, or some mysterious little word like sich just pops up out of absolutely nowhere? It's so frustrating, and honestly, it can feel like you're just stuck in some impossible maze. I mean, take this sentence. In English, it's pretty straightforward. The waiter is breaking up with his girlfriend. But in German, you've got Trent at the beginning, this sich right after it, and then fahren just kind of floating there in the middle. So what's the deal here? What's going on? Okay, but here's the thing. This isn't random chaos. It's actually a system, and we're about to unlock it with three, let's call them master keys. So let's just dive right in. Okay, our first key, I like to call these mirror verbs. And this is just a really simple way to think about what are technically called reflexive verbs. The name is really the whole clue, right? The action of the verb, it reflects back on the person doing it. So whenever you see a verb with that little word sich, like sich waschen, just picture a mirror. The action is bouncing right back to the subject. They're doing it to themselves. You're not washing the car, you're washing yourself. See? The action reflects back. And you know what the best part is? You already know a ton of these mirror verbs. I mean, your entire morning routine is basically built on them. You wash yourself, you get yourself dressed, you brush your own teeth. You have been using this key the entire time, probably without even thinking about it. Okay, now here's where it gets just a little bit tricky, but it's super important. Look on the left, wäscht sich. He washes himself. Easy enough. But on the right, wäscht sich die Hände. He's washing his own hands. When you specify what part of yourself is getting the action, like the hands, the hair, whatever, that's when the grammar shifts a little bit and we're dealing with the dative case. Think of it this way. Are you talking about your entire self or just a part of yourself? All right, you ready for key number 2? This is for all those verbs that just love to split in half. I call them split verbs, and the secret? Think of their prefix like a boomerang. So you take a verb like anfangen, which means to begin. It's a perfect example. The an part is the prefix. In a normal present tense sentence, that little prefix, an, gets launched like a boomerang all the way to the very end of the sentence. Just look at this pattern. The main part of the verb, fangen, it stays right where you'd expect it. You know, changed for the subject, but its little prefix, on, travels all the way to the finish line. Ich fange an. Wir fangen an. It's this consistent, totally predictable boomerang effect every single time. Let's see it in a full sentence. We start the meeting at 8. The core of it is wir fangen, and bam, right at the end, that boomerang prefix on flies back in to finish the thought. But wait, watch what happens when you use the past tense. The boomerang comes home. In the past participle form, that prefix an actually rejoins the main verb to create one single word, angefangen. So it splits up in the present tense, but it snaps right back together in the past. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, let's move on to our third and final key. I like to call these verbs with best friends. These are the verbs that are almost always paired up with one specific preposition. They're a team, you know, a dynamic duo. They don't really make sense on their own. So here's the big trick. You have to stop trying to learn these as separate words. The moment you learn a verb like sich freuen, you should immediately ask yourself, freuen on what? The answer, its best friend, could be auf or über. You gotta learn them as a single unit, like a package deal. And here are some of the most common pairs you'll see. You don't just interest yourself, you interest yourself for something. Sich interessieren für. You don't just prepare, you prepare for something. Sich vorbereiten auf. Seriously, thinking of them as these linked pairs, that is the secret to getting them right. And here's exactly how it works in a real sentence. The mechanic is already looking forward to the weekend. See that? Freut sich and its best buddy auf. They have to be there together. Otherwise, the meaning just falls apart.
So let's just pull back for a second. What felt like this totally chaotic mess of rules at the start, well, now it's starting to look a lot more like a system, like a code, right? Once you know what you're looking for, the patterns become so much clearer. And you know what? It really all just boils down to this. 3. That's it. 3 master keys that will unlock the vast majority of confusing verb situations you're going to run into. We're not talking about an endless list of exceptions here. We're talking about a small, manageable set of patterns.
So, this is your new toolkit. From now on, whenever you see a verb that looks weird, just stop and ask, is it a mirror verb? Is it a split verb? Or is this a verb that's just hanging out with its best friend? You now have the right questions to ask to figure out what's going on.
The point is, you're not lost in that maze anymore. You've got the map. You've got the keys. These so-called secrets of German verbs, they're not secrets at all. They're just systems and patterns that you can now see and use. So the only question left is, what conversations, books, and ideas will you unlock with them?